final eliminator on Central's fight night against Alan Mckay. Mackenzie's brother, Tony, won the light welterweight crown 6 years ago. Now Kelton hopes to bring another championship to the family.
The doors are open for me. It's that probably my only chance. I'm going to go out there and go for it and show all my supporters that I'm #1.
I put everything into this young boy, and he's got everything. I think he's got everything now: speed, stamina, and everything is coming to fruit.
Leicester's Kelton Mckenzie is aiming at the British Featherweight Championship. Londoner Alan Mckay is the man he has to beat to keep alive his chances of challenging the champion John Davison. Good evening from the Hayden Hill Leisure Centre in the West Midlands. The featherweight division is certainly the busiest on the British boxing scene at the moment. Paul Hodkinson is, of course, the WBC world champion. Colin McMillan has just lost his WBO title, and Billy Hardy is the Commonwealth champion. Well, tonight it's an eliminator for that British title. Kelton Mckenzie, the younger brother of the former British light welterweight champion, Tony Mckenzie, is up against the Southern Area champion, Alan Mckay. Now, Mckay is the only British boxer to have beaten Colin McMillan. Let's join our commentary team in just a moment. That's Reg Guttridge and Jim Watt, of course. But first of all, we're going to hear from our regular Fight Night Master of Ceremonies, Vince Miller.
Gentlemen, please. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. 10 rounds of boxing at 3 minutes each round. This being the eliminator for the British Featherweight Championship. Presenting and introducing, in the blue corner, Alan Mckay from Willesden, North London. And in the red corner from Leicester, Kelton Mckenzie. At the official weigh-in, both boxers scaled 9 stone. Your officials, who are designated by the British Boxing Board of Control, are as follows. Your steward in charge, Mr. Alex Kirby. Your medical officer, Dr. Michael Adnew. And in your timekeeper tonight, Mr. John Heath. Your referee for this contest, from Wolverhampton, Mr. John Coyle. This is the main event of the evening.
So always overhearing what's going on there. John Coyle, actually, star grade referee, has actually stepped in for Adrian Morgan from Wales, who obviously wanted to sort of have a neutral touch about it. It's stuck on the motorway somewhere. So certainly doesn't lessen the strength of it, because Coyle is doing world championships around the world at the moment. So a definite official eliminator for the championship. And the southpaw from London, Alan Mckay. And the hot prospect, I would suspect, from Leicester, Kelton Mckenzie. Both came in at 9 stone, although Mckenzie was a ½ pound over at the weigh-in and was given time to get it off. Very easy to spot Mckenzie. Looks so much like former champion brother, Tony. He was champion in the light welterweight division in 86 and 87. Certainly Alan Mckay has caused a few upsets in his time, and he was very close indeed. In fact, one fight away from boxing Colin McMillan for the then British Championship, but finished up getting a draw on the same bill as McMillan, and they didn't think it was going to be a good enough match, and it went for the wayside. So he's got to get himself back in condition again. He actually got an amateur decision, no, a pro decision over McMillan in the 3rd round, but McMillan had beaten him twice as an amateur. But that was a cut-eye stoppage by McMillan, former WBO champion. In fact, Jim, facially, Mckenzie reminds me very much of McMillan.
Yeah, looks very like him with the fancy haircut too. This is a good match, Reg. Alan Mckay, good compact, hard, tough little fighter. Keeps coming forward. He's been on the floor, but usually manages back up again, back into the action. Mckenzie, a good puncher, picks the shots well, places them bang on the target. So I think this is pretty typical of how the fight's going to be. Mckenzie looking for the spots, and Mckay just trying to keep busy.
Minute to go in the opening round then, scheduled for a 10. And I think Mckay's been tipped off about Mckenzie's punch power, Jim. He's tucking his head well between the gloves there.
Yeah, he's boxing behind a nice tight defence, but he is a fairly compact little boxer.
Peekaboo stuff that Floyd Patterson was so good at. He happens to be in this country for the week, looking after Denton Ruddock. He happens to be looking in, he won't disapprove of that guard. Real sparring for opening stuff in the opening round, isn't it? As we get the clock.
Yeah, but a little bit of quality, Reg. You can see them both trying to force the other man into making mistakes. Two smart little performers.
Ken Squires in the corner there, the nickname the animal, used to have Tony Simpson. And there's the rundown on Kelton Mckenzie. Ready to cause some upsets, particularly against the Barry Hearn matchroom camp. Went to London and defeated Tim Yates and Derek Amory, who was managed by tonight's promoter Pat Caldell. So he's in really good form at the moment. And there's Mckay with his well-known trainer Zola Akai. It's almost spelt the same actually, with different pronunciation. And there's his, not an up and down record by any means, is it? 3 drawn contests, so that shows you how close, well, the majority of his fights are. Out for the second. I don't know how much experience Mckenzie's had against the southpaw stance boxers, Jim, but I think he's coping with it all right. As you say, good thinking contest, this, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the first thing an orthodox boxer wants to do is try to get outside the southpaw jab, force the southpaw to move in a clockwise direction. And that way you can knock somebody's coordination out. But at the moment, Mckay is circling to his own right, and that's exactly what he wants to do.
Couple of stags there, where they're locked.
Mckenzie's just maybe taking a little bit too long to get his punches off. Maybe the 10 rounds maybe has him worried. He's just too intent in pacing himself, but he's taking a little bit too long. He's allowing Mckay to take too much of the play away.
Well, you can imagine Ken Squires has put him through the hoop a bit, Jim. That famous pub that he trains him at, they used to certainly work Tony Simpson hard, so I'd imagine Mackenzie's going to be as fit as he could be.
Yeah, I've no doubts at all about his fitness, Reg, but it's just in your own mind. You worry about the 10 rounds. So maybe the first couple of rounds he's going to take his time, box himself in, but he wants to be a little bit busy. You don't want to give the rounds away at the start of a fight like this. So Mckay looking sharp, getting the punches rolling.
He beat that tough fellow Gary Darude in the 8th round. That was a good win for Alan Mckay. Darude held the championship before McLennan came along. So you've got the Midlands champion, of course, Mckenzie from Leicester, and Mckay from Willesden in London as the Southern Area champion. Normally the stepping stone at least to challenge for British title fights. think he's a bit uneasy against the southpaw. I don't know, Jim, you may have said, no, I boxed millions of them as an amateur, Mckenzie, but just get that feeling he can't get the left hand going against that stance.
I mean, it shouldn't be troubling. It's usually a southpaw with a good jab who causes all the problems to orthodox boxers. But Mckay is not really making use of a good southpaw jab. You know, he's standing reasonably square on, and he's putting punches together. So the southpaw stance shouldn't trouble him.
Well, there'll be some harsh words coming in the corner now, I think, because just not doing enough work. He's won 4 this year, this fellow, anyway. Colin Lynch, Brian Robb. He lost to Craig Dermody. That was a bit of a surprise, I suppose, but he's a very talented performer, the Mancunian Dermody. Won the Midlands Championship against Elvis Parsley. I nearly stayed Presley there. From Walsall in the 5th. A run of 7 wins. It took a time to get used to the program at the start, according to his manager anyway. Third round. 3-9, they're both the same weight at 9 stone, right on the featherweight limit. And as Gary Newborn was saying, this is a pretty talented division now with Paul Hodgkinson, the world champion, John Davison, the British, Billy Hardy, the Commonwealth, and there's Conor McMillan, of course, the former world champion, still there in the hunt when his shoulder is repaired.
Feeling that Mckenzie just wants to be a little bit sharper, Reg. You know, he just seems to be that split second slow. You can see him winding up the punches. He wants to throw the big stuff. But it'd be better trying to box his way into the fight. Then when he starts landing some light shots, and these are good punches, but Mckay blocked both of them. So he's setting himself for the big shots, but he wants to be a little bit busier.
Yeah, that's Ken Squires is a good there, Jim. I can hear him shouting across the ring, "Come on, work," to Mckenzie. I think I can hear Mackenzie's mum, who was the best shouter in the business. I remember at least she was when Tony was boxing, but they put her a little bit farther back this time. Saves us a bit of GBH to the ears.
Well, Mackenzie's revved up a little bit. He's just throwing the punches, one single shot at a time. And Mckay coping with it well, ducking, slipping and blocking, but at least he has raised the pace a little bit. Mckay doing some nice stuff to the body, Reg. Nice little southpaw right hands behind the ribs. Good little shots.
Oh, rocked a bit there, Jim, with that right hand punch.
Mckenzie getting through now. Good right hand.
Well, that's an encouragement there for Mckenzie, and Mum's right at the ringside now. She left her seat to say, "This is what I want you to do."
Well, that's a little bit of success that Mckenzie needed. Oh, lovely punch, Reg. Good left hook.
Talking to be over, Jim, the way it's going. Coming up to the end of the round, and I think certainly Mckay will like to hear that bell coming. Now the referee will keep counting if the bell... No, he hasn't got to, because he's regained his feet okay. And very must say he sprinted back to the corner there, Mckay, but he was hurt. Well, now, it must have been, they told him to go to work. Mum certainly encouraged him, I must say. And there it is, Jim. Let's have a look at this punches.
Well, Mckay, glad to hear the bell, Reg, because the early punches have taken a fair bit out of his legs. Bang, a good left hook. Well, that was more of a stumble than actual knockdown. That wasn't anything like the best punch of the round. But a few good punches coming from Mckenzie. And as I say, they took a lot of the strength out of McKay's legs. So we'll see just how good shape he's in and how he recovers.
Fair enough, we thought he'd open up earlier, and certainly his corner were pleading for him to do it. And dear old mum, well, you can hear her anywhere. Back at the hall at ringside, she's there.
I think the main thing for Mckenzie now, Reggie knows he has the power to trouble McKay. Although it was a stumble, he still had him over. And his punches, when they land cleanly, are not causing that effect.
Crisscross defence there, Mckay. I don't blame him for that. He knows he's been in a bit of a trouble and he wants to get out of it now and box his way out of trouble. Gutsy performer, Mckay. Make no mistake about that.
I think it's good tactics. He's still looking for the rib cage of Mckenzie. Still trying to take some of the steam out of him.
That was the one that got away. That right hand whistled past Mckay's chin there.
Dangerous with his head now and again, McKay.
Yeah, John Cole, mate, do you see that there, Jim? He made a little remark to him there. He spotted that, the referee.
He's done that once or twice, just going forward with his head down.
And there's Mum, isn't it? Mackenzie's Mum in full flight there. She could really be a corner shouter. I tell you, she's doing that standing up outside the ring as well. Watch him, well, that's fair enough. I couldn't think of anything better to say than watch him with the other guys.
McKay's come right back into it, the edge, kept nice and busy in this round. He has his high, tight guard back again.
Hasn't pressed the advantage in this round, maybe he's paying just a bit of due respect to Mckay. Knows he's a strong fellow with plenty of experience.
McKay's boxed himself back into it well, Reg.
Oh yeah, he's got plenty of guts, Jim. He showed that when he defeated the current Welsh champion, Steve Robinson. So Solar Akai there teaches the boys down in the Harrow Road Gymnasium in London. And his son was a British champion, TJ. Round 5. And turned out a really good, hard contest for the Eliminator to fight for the British featherweight title. John Davison, the Geordie, and popular fighter he is too, the reigning British champion.
So McKay making use of his experience, Reg, little feints, little step to the side, slipping in the body shots. Really is boxing well.
Finished that little barrage with a good right hand too, Mckenzie, and although Mckay was getting the best of it at the start.
Mckenzie's still relying too much on power, Reggie. He's going to have to busy up, get the punches flowing a bit more. He's still looking for that one shot to turn it. He's proved he can do it, but he's taking a chance points-wise.
Good competitive fight, this. And that's spotted mum, no doubt, if you can't already hear her. She's moving around any side of the ring now. Most of it is watching Kelton and get to work Kelton. I wonder if the border control officials might say, would you mind going farther back, please? Minute to go in the 5th.
McKay still churning out the punches, Reg, keeping that a little bit busier.
He's ducking inside those punches. They weren't as good as they looked from the back of the hall gym, Kelton Mckenzie's then.
No, McKay's boxing well, Reg. Nice compact defence. Mckenzie's still looking for the big shots all the time.
The applause there. Good round that, Jim. There wasn't a lot in that round, was there?
Not a lot in there, Reg, but again, McKay doing a lot of the work.
Well, let's have another look at that. As you say, he probably just won that round, Mckay.
So I just feel that Mckenzie should be leading off more. He's just taking too long to get his punches off, and too often McKay taking the initiative.
Very calm in that corner. He's a good teacher, Solarak guy. There it is. That's how I want you to do it, son. Sidestep a bit. Now she can even go between rounds. I tell you that, Mrs. Mckenzie. Round 6. Scheduled for 10 then. A reminder. The southpaw, right-hand forward, Londoner Alan Mckay and Kelton Mckenzie from Leicester, and both 9 stone. Well to come back from that rough ride early on there, Mckay, Jim.
Certainly did, Reggie. His legs were badly shaken up. You could see the effects of the punch in his legs, but they came out the following round and really had a good round. Good little performer. So Mckenzie wants to change the pace a little bit. He wants to take the initiative more. Start putting Mckay under pressure. Some blood in the top of McKay's head, Reg. I wonder what clash has caused that. Looks high on the head at the side.
Well, he's the one who's been diving in a bit recklessly, Jim. Sometimes he's caused his own injury a bit there, doesn't it?
Yeah, I didn't notice any clashes. It could have been a head or maybe even an elbow. As you say, he's come in low several times.
How to wrap up inside there, the Londoner. Boxing 3 ABA championships, lost 2 to Colin McMillan and 1 to Peter Buckley, and got a draw with him as a pro.
Mckenzie coming forward a bit more often now. That's what he has to do. He's going to have to try to back McKay up, get the punches off a little bit sharper. He's taken too long to get the punches off all the way through. That's a good right hand, Reg. That's a good shot from Mckenzie.
He's really leaning in with that punch now, isn't he?
He certainly has the power, Reg. I mean, one of these punches can turn the whole fight around. McKay's trading with him, which is not a clever idea.
Oh, he's catching him now where he wants, and right at the end of the 6th round, a bit more trouble for this fella, Mckay. Well, he certainly did well to recover from the early ones. Can he do so at the end of the 6th round now, a scheduled 10-rounder? He's got a strong ticker. He's cut on the head, but a very strong heart, this fella. There is patching up that head wound, not very serious. Jim, this replay now, they're really going at it here now.
That was one of the hardest rounds of the fight. I know McKay's had a rougher round when he's been bowled over, but that really was a hard round.
And again there, another angle.
See a lot of punches exchanged, and again Mckenzie throwing the powerful shots. Good left hook, good right hand shots too.
Round 7. Certainly impressed the way Mckay keeps coming back to him. He looks as though he could, could go over any minute at times or any second, and then he pitches himself right back in the fight again.
Well, I feel Mckenzie's the one who has to change what's happening here. He has to raise the pace, he has to control the pace, get his punches off a bit sharper. Because all the way through McKay, it's been good defensive boxing, good aggressive stuff, putting punches together. For me, McKay's ahead at the moment.
Well, I'm sure referee John Cole, now one of the most experienced referees around at the moment, and he'll sort this one out. There's been too many decisions over the years that people disagree with John Cole's pointing. Uncompromising little fighter, Alan Mckay.
Mckenzie getting through a bit more often. See, McKay's punches don't trouble Mckenzie in the slightest. Mckenzie beginning to perform a little bit better now.
Nagging away the whole time, Mckay. Mckenzie's stuff looks more impressive, I imagine, particularly at the back of the hall here. But he keeps busying all the time, Mckay. Stronger work, as you say, Jim, easily by Mckenzie.
The fight has changed slightly, Reg. It's McKay not as mobile as he was. He's taking more shots. So this is where Mckenzie has to make his power count. The fight's reached the stage where Mckenzie would be hoping to take over, but he's not doing it yet.
Going on there, though, Jim. I don't know whether they're getting a bit tired, particularly Mckenzie here.
Yeah, they both must be feeling fairly tired, Reg. It's been a fair old pace all the way through. McKay just never stops throwing. A good boxing then from McKay. That was good defensive boxing, nice counter punching.
Let's have another look at that, Jim. We needed it slowed down after the speed they were going.
You know, another hard round, Reg. The fight really has caught to life now. It's been good all the way through. but now it really is a hard battle.
And again here, Jim,